If you're not walking 10,000 steps a day, you need to see this. Because what most people don't realize is that the number itself is not the point, but the movement behind it absolutely is. Here's something that might surprise you. The 10,000 step target wasn't born from science. It was marketing. In the 1960s, a Japanese company created a pedometer called the Manpo-K, which literally translates to 10,000 step meter. They picked the number because it sounded good, it was catchy, it was memorable, and somehow 60 years later, it became the global gold standard for daily movement. But here's the real question. Does it actually matter if you hit that number? And more importantly, what happens to your body if you don't? Before we answer that, I want to ask you something personal. How many steps did you take yesterday? Be honest. Not the number you wish you took, the actual number. If you wear a fitness tracker, check it right now. If you don't, think about your day. How much did you actually move? The average American takes somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 steps per day. That's less than half of the 10,000 step target. And if you work a desk job, the number is often even lower, sometimes as few as 1,500 to 20,500 steps on a typical workday. Now, here's where this gets genuinely concerning. Your body was not designed for this level of stillness, and the gap between how much you're moving and how much you should be moving is quietly reshaping your health in ways you probably haven't connected to your step count. But before I show you what happens when you don't walk enough, I want to give you some context about what the research actually says about 10,000 steps. A landmark study published in JAMA Internal Medicine in 2019 followed nearly 17,000 women with an average age of 72. They tracked their step counts and their health outcomes over several years. What they found was fascinating. The women who walked about 400 steps per day had significantly lower mortality rates than those who walked only 2,700 steps. And here's the surprising part. The benefits continued to increase up to about 7,500 steps per day. After that, the curve flattened. More steps beyond 7,500 didn't produce additional longevity benefits. This means the magic number might not be 10,000 at all. It might be closer to 7,500 for older adults. But for younger adults, the research suggests that somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 steps is where you see the most benefit. The point isn't the exact number. The point is that most people are so far below even the lower threshold that their bodies are operating in a state of chronic movement deficiency. So let me ask you again, where do you fall on that spectrum? Are you getting enough steps to support your health? Or are you part of the majority who is falling short? I want you to leave a comment below right now. Tell me your average daily step count, and tell me whether you're surprised by what you're about to learn. I read every single comment on this channel. Now let's get into what actually happens to your body when you don't move enough. Because this is where the biology gets real. When you sit for prolonged periods, hours at a time without getting up, your body enters a state that researchers call muscle inactivation. Your largest muscle groups, particularly in your legs and glutes, essentially go to sleep. They stop firing. They stop communicating with the rest of your body. And when your muscles are inactive, a cascade of physiological changes begins. First, your metabolism slows. The enzyme lipoprotein lipase, which helps break down fat in your bloodstream, drops by as much as 90% during prolonged sitting. This means the fat you eat stays in your blood longer, circulating instead of being metabolized. Second, your insulin sensitivity decreases. Your cells become less responsive to the hormone that regulates blood sugar. This is why sedentary behavior is so strongly linked to type 2 diabetes, not just because of what you eat, but because of how little you move. Third, your blood flow slows. This affects everything from your cardiovascular health to your cognitive function. When you sit, your leg muscles aren't contracting, which means they aren't pumping blood back towards your heart. Your circulation becomes sluggish. And when blood doesn't flow well, nutrients and oxygen don't reach your tissues as efficiently. Fourth, your lymphatic system stagnates. Your lymph vessels have no pump of their own. They depend entirely on muscle contraction to move fluid. When you sit for hours, that fluid pools. Your immune surveillance slows down. Waste products accumulate. And fifth, your bones lose density. The mechanical loading that walking provides is the signal your bones need to maintain their strength. Without that signal, bone resorption outpaces bone building. This is why sedentary behavior is considered an independent risk factor for so many chronic conditions: heart disease, diabetes, cancer, depression, cognitive decline. It's not just about being inactive. It's about your body systematically degrading because it's not receiving the mechanical input it evolved to expect. But here's the good news. The human body is remarkably responsive, and walking even far less than 10,000 steps a day is one of the most powerful interventions you can make. So the question is not whether walking is good for you. The question is, what is the minimum effective dose? And more importantly, how do you actually get enough steps when your lifestyle doesn't naturally support it? Let's start with what the research actually says about step counts and health outcomes. A 2020 study, published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, analyzed data from over 30,000 adults and found that each additional 1,000 steps per day was associated with a 6 to 15% reduction in mortality risk. Even small increases in daily steps produced meaningful benefits. Another study from the University of Massachusetts followed 2,000 adults and found that those who walked at least 6,000 steps per day had significantly lower rates of cardiovascular disease than those who walked less. And a study published in Circulation found that adults over 60 who walked 8,000 steps or more per day had significantly lower rates of dementia compared to those who walked less than 5,000 steps. Here's the pattern that emerges from all this research. Every step counts, literally. The difference between 2,000 steps and 4,000 steps is not just a number. It's a meaningful health difference. The difference between 4,000 and 6,000 is another meaningful health difference. And while 10,000 steps might be an arbitrary target, the trend is clear: more movement is better, and any increase in your current step count is going to benefit you. But there's something else to consider. Not all steps are created equal. Walking intensity matters too. Walking at a conversational pace, brisk enough that you feel your heart rate increase, but still comfortable enough to talk, is generally considered moderate intensity exercise. This is the type of walking that produces the greatest benefits for cardiovascular health. A 2019 study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that people who walked faster had significantly lower all-cause mortality compared to those who walked slower. The relationship was dose-dependent. The faster you walk, the greater the benefit. The study looked at adults over 65 and found that those who walked at a pace of about 100 steps per minute had the greatest reduction in mortality risk. So not only does the number of steps matter, but the quality of those steps matters too. A slow shuffling walk is better than no walk at all, but a brisk, purposeful walk is where you see the most benefit. Now, let me address something that might be on your mind. If you're not getting 10,000 steps, what should you actually aim for? And how do you get there without disrupting your entire life? I'm going to give you practical, real-world strategies that work for busy people. But first, I need to tell you something honest. This is not about perfection. If you're currently taking 3,000 steps a day, aiming for 10,000 tomorrow is not realistic. And frankly, it's not necessary. The goal is progress, not perfection. Let me walk you through a step-by-step approach to increasing your daily movement. Strategy number 1. Start with where you are. Before you can increase your steps, you need to know your baseline. Take a few days to track your steps without changing anything. Just observe. What does a normal day look like? How many steps do you actually take? Once you have your baseline, set a realistic target. If you're currently at 3,000 steps, aim for 4,000. If you're at 5,000, aim for 6,500. The key is to increase gradually, about 1,000 steps per week, so your body and your schedule can adapt. Strategy number 2, break it up. One of the most powerful insights from movement research is that walking in short bursts throughout the day is just as beneficial as walking for one continuous block, if not more. A study published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise found that 3 10-minute walks were equally effective as one 30-minute walk for cardiovascular health. And some research suggests that breaking up sedentary time with frequent short walks may have additional benefits beyond longer walks. So rather than trying to fit one long walk into your day, try to incorporate multiple short walks. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. It all adds up. Strategy number 3. Walk after meals. This is one of my favorite strategies because it's simple, effective, and scientifically proven. Walking for 10 to 15 minutes after a meal significantly reduces the post-meal glucose spike. This has been demonstrated in multiple studies. When you walk after eating, your muscles pull glucose directly out of your bloodstream without needing as much insulin. This improves your blood sugar regulation and reduces the amount of glucose that gets stored as fat. Walking after dinner is particularly beneficial. A study published in Diabetologia found that walking after dinner resulted in lower glucose levels and improved insulin sensitivity compared to walking at other times. Strategy number 4. The stair swap. This is one of the easiest ways to increase your step count without changing your routine. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. It's just a few steps, but over the course of a day, they add up significantly. One flight of stairs is roughly 15 to 20 steps. If you climb 3 flights a day, that's 45 to 60 steps. That might not sound like much, but it's better than nothing. And over the course of a week, that's over 300 extra steps. Strategy number 5. The parking strategy. Park farther away from your destination. Whether it's the grocery store, your office, or a restaurant, choose a spot that's a little further away. It adds steps. It also reduces the stress of finding a close spot. Strategy number 6. Walk while you wait. This is one of the most overlooked opportunities. You're waiting for a meeting to start. You're waiting for a call. You're waiting for food to cook. Use that time to move. Even a minute of walking counts. Strategy number 7. The phone walking rule. If you're going to be on the phone anyway, why not walk while you talk? This is one of the easiest ways to sneak in extra steps without taking any extra time out of your day. Strategy number 8. Fidgeting. This might sound trivial, but fidgeting actually counts. Tapping your foot, standing up and sitting down, shifting your weight. These small movements add up. Researchers have found that fidgeters burn significantly more calories than non-fidgeters. And more importantly, these micro-movements provide mechanical input to your muscles and bones that mitigates some of the effects of sitting. Strategy number 9. Create a walking routine. This might seem obvious, but it's worth stating. Consistency matters more than intensity. A 15-minute walk every day at the same time is more effective than a 45-minute walk once a week. Pick a time that works for you. Morning, lunch break, evening. Whatever time is most realistic for your schedule. Then commit to it. Put it in your calendar. Treat it like an appointment that you can't cancel. Strategy number 10. Walk with someone. Social accountability is powerful. If you walk with a friend, or a partner, or a dog, you're more likely to show up. You're also more likely to enjoy it, which means you're more likely to stick with it. Now, let me address the people who genuinely can't walk 0 steps due to health conditions, joint pain, or mobility limitations. This message is for you too. Every step counts. And if walking is difficult, there are other forms of movement that can provide similar benefits. Water walking, stationary biking, seated exercises, or even gentle stretching can improve circulation, support joint health, and provide mechanical stimulus to your bones and muscles. The goal is not to force your body to do something it can't. The goal is to find a form of movement that works for you and do it consistently. If you have significant mobility limitations, I encourage you to talk to a physical therapist. They can design a movement program that's safe and effective for your specific situation. Now, let me show you the real-world difference that 5,000 steps versus 10,000 steps makes. Not in terms of abstract numbers, but in terms of actual physiological effects. When you walk 5,000 steps a day, your body experiences about 3.5 to 4 hours of total active time. This includes all movement, walking, standing, fidgeting, moving around. At 5,000 steps, you're in the moderate movement category. Your metabolism is somewhat elevated. Your circulation is fairly good. Your muscles are getting periodic signals to maintain themselves. But at 5,000 steps, you're also spending most of the rest of your day sitting or lying down. Your calorie expenditure is modest. Your glucose tolerance is okay but not optimized. Your cardiovascular fitness is maintained but not improved. At 500 steps a day, the picture changes. You're getting close to 5 to 6 hours of active time. Your metabolism is significantly elevated. Your circulation is excellent. Your muscles are getting regular mechanical input. Your blood sugar regulation improves. At 10,000 steps a day, you're in the high movement category. You're spending about 7 to 8 hours of your day active. Your calorie expenditure is significantly higher. Your cardiovascular fitness improves. Your muscles maintain their strength and function. Your bones receive optimal loading. Your cognitive function benefits from the increased blood flow to the brain. But remember, the research shows that the biggest gains come from the first steps. Going from 0 to 2,000 steps is a huge improvement. Going from 2,000 to 4,000 is another huge improvement. The benefits are not linear. The first 5,000 steps give you 80% of the benefits. The next 5,000 steps give you the remaining 20%. So if you're taking 3,000 steps a day, you don't need to hit 10,000 to see meaningful improvements. You just need to add some steps. Now, I want to address something that might be holding you back. The mental barrier. The feeling that 10,000 steps is just too much. Too time-consuming. Too ambitious. Let me tell you something that might reframe how you think about this point. 10,000 steps is roughly 5 miles. At a moderate walking pace of 3 miles per hour, it takes about 1 hour and 40 minutes to walk 10,000 steps. That's not nothing. But it's also not as much as you might think. However, you don't have to do it all at once. If you break it down into smaller chunks, 10,000 steps feels much more manageable. 30 minutes in the morning equals about 3,000 steps. 15 minutes after lunch equals about 500 steps. 10 minutes after dinner equals about 1,000 steps. A few short walks during the day equals 1,000 steps. Parking farther away plus stairs equals 500 steps. When you break it down this way, 10,000 steps starts to feel achievable. Not easy, but achievable. But let me be clear about something. The number itself doesn't matter as much as the habit. And the habit is what we're really building here. When you walk, you're not just counting steps. You're telling your body that movement matters. You're reinforcing a pattern of behavior that supports your health. You're breaking the cycle of chronic stillness that has become the default for so many people. And over time, the steps add up. 10,000 steps a day is 3,650,000 steps a year. That's over 5,800 miles. That's the distance from New York to California. Just from walking, think about what that level of movement does for your body. The reduction in chronic disease risk, the improvement in mood and cognition, the preservation of muscle and bone, the support of your immune system, the maintenance of your independence and mobility. Now, I want to share something that might change how you think about walking forever. Walking is not just exercise. Walking is a fundamental biological need. Your body expects to walk. It evolved over millions of years to walk. And when it doesn't, every system in your body adapts to the absence of that expected stimulus. Think about that for a moment. Every system in your body is designed to function optimally in a walking body. Your cardiovascular system, your metabolic system, your musculoskeletal system, your nervous system, your immune system. When you walk, you're not just getting exercise. You're meeting a basic biological requirement. You're giving your body something it evolved to need. And when you don't walk, you're depriving your body of something that was baked into your physiology over millions of years of evolution. Walking is not just exercise. Walking is a fundamental biological need. This is why walking has such profound effects on so many aspects of health. It's not magic. It's matching your body's expectations. It's giving it the mechanical input it was designed to receive. Now, I want to give you some real talk. If you want to build the habit of walking, you need to stop treating it as optional. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop making excuses about the weather or the schedule or the equipment. Your health is not a luxury. It's a necessity. And walking is the most accessible, most sustainable, most effective tool you have to maintain your health. Here's a simple experiment I want you to try. Tomorrow, no matter what, walk for 20 minutes. It doesn't matter what time. It doesn't matter where. Just walk. While you walk, pay attention. Notice how your body feels. Notice how your mind clears. Notice the rhythm of your steps. Notice how your breathing deepens. This is not just exercise. This is your body functioning the way it was designed to function. If you enjoy that walk, do it again the next day, and the next. After a week, see how you feel. I suspect you'll notice something. More energy, better sleep, a clearer mind, a calmer mood. These are not placebo effects. These are measurable physiological changes. Walking improves blood flow to the brain, which improves cognition. Walking releases endorphins, which improve mood. Walking reduces cortisol, which reduces stress. Walking improves sleep quality, which improves every aspect of health. And all of this happens with just 20 to 30 minutes of walking a day. Walking is the most accessible, most sustainable, most effective tool you have to maintain your health. Now, I want to address something that I think gets in the way of a lot of people. The sense that walking is not enough, that if you're not doing something more intense, you're not really exercising. Let me be clear about this. Walking is enough. For most people, walking is all they need to maintain their health and prevent chronic disease. Yes, running is better for cardiovascular fitness. Yes, weightlifting is better for muscle building. But walking is better for sustainability. Walking is better for joint health. Walking is better for mental health. Walking is better for consistency. And consistency is what matters most. A person who walks 30 minutes every day is going to be healthier than a person who runs 60 minutes once a week. Not because walking is better than running, but because the walker is consistent. If you're already walking, keep going. If you're not walking, start. If you're walking but not enough, increase your steps gradually. Every step counts. Every step matters. Let me share something that I've found genuinely inspiring. There are people all over the world who walk every single day as a fundamental part of their lives. They don't think of it as exercise. They think of it as just living. In Okinawa, Japan, one of the blue zones where people live the longest, walking is woven into the fabric of daily life. People walk to gardens, to markets, to temples. They walk as part of their social connections. They walk as part of their daily routine. In Sardinia, another blue zone, people walk on the steep hills of their mountain villages. They walk for transportation. They walk for community. They walk for purpose. These people don't count steps. They don't wear fitness trackers. They just move, and they live longer, healthier lives than almost anyone else on the planet. We can learn something from this. The pursuit of 10 zone steps is not about hitting a number. It's about creating a lifestyle where movement is a natural part of your day. It's about building a life where walking is not optional but automatic, not effortful but joyful. Now, I want to bring this back to you. What's one thing you can do differently today? One small change that will add more steps to your day? One habit that you can build that will become part of your normal routine? Maybe it's walking after every meal. Maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk during your lunch break. Maybe it's getting off the bus one stop early. Maybe it's taking the stairs. Maybe it's just pacing while you're on the phone. Whatever it is, commit to it. Start tomorrow, not next Monday, not the first of the month. Tomorrow, because the research is clear. The first steps make the biggest difference. The gap between nothing and something is enormous. The gap between something and more is smaller, but still meaningful. Don't let perfectionism hold you back. Don't wait until you can hit 10,000 steps perfectly every day. Start with what you can do. Do it consistently. Increase gradually. Celebrate your progress. Let me close with this. You have more control over your health than you think. Not through medication, not through supplements, not through complicated protocols. Through walking, through the simple act of moving your body every day. The 10,000 step target might be arbitrary, but the principle behind it is not. Your body needs movement. It needs it every day. And when you give it what it needs, it responds. Not just with better physical health, but with better mental health, better cognitive function, better quality of life. Walking is not just about the steps. It's about the person you become when you move. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, I want you to remember this. Your body is waiting for you to move. It's been waiting all night. And the first steps you take will set the tone for your entire day. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until you feel like it. Just walk. Start small. Build gradually. Be consistent. And if you ever doubt whether it's worth it, think about this. Every step you take is a step toward better health. Every step is a step toward more energy. Every step is a step toward a longer, healthier, more vibrant life. The steps add up. The miles add up. The years add up. And when you look back, you'll realize that the simple act of walking changed everything. Thanks for watching Winds of Thought. If this video inspired you to move more, please hit that like button. It helps others discover this information too. And I'll see you in the next one.